Blessings you all. It's Akila McQueen, aka Empress Awakening, the hearts, minds, and the spirits of all those who come across me. Today I will be discussing cloth diapering and what my life is like cloth diapering my son. So the first thing I want to start talking about is the differences between using disposable diapers and using cloth diapers. So some of the pros of using disposable diapers is that it is extremely convenient. You can just open the diaper, wipe up your baby, fold it up, throw it away, and you never have to think about it again. You also don't have to worry about washing it, and when you're traveling, you don't have to travel with dirty diapers because you could dispose it in any nearby garbage can. And you also have to change fewer diapers because of the super absorbency disposable diapers have. Now, some of the cons of using disposable diapers is that most of them are not chemical free. And the ones that are coming out now saying that they don't use the most harmful chemicals in their diapers are not free from plastic. So that means once you put it in the garbage and your garbage goes out to the landfills, it stays there. It never breaks down. I'll take that back. It breaks down, but it takes forever. They've estimated that it takes about 200 to 500 years for one diaper to fully decompose. Now that's a long time. And I'm only 26 years old, so that means that particles of my diapers and my mother used are still out there in the landfills. That's pretty bad for our environment. Another con about using disposable diapers is that the ones that are most popular are the ones that use chlorine in their diapers, dioxin, and dioxin is a highly toxic chemical that can cause reproductive issues, developmental issues, damage to your children's immune system. It interferes with hormones and has also been linked to cancer. So something like dioxin we probably wouldn't want on our child's butt. And even though it's a small amount on the diaper, we don't want any of it. We're already exposed to dioxin in different areas of our lives. We don't want it to be so close to home that it's on our children's butts. Another thing that disposable diapers have are dyes in them, and we know that dyes have been linked to other illnesses as well. They have gels, which has been linked to some babies having allergic reactions. So when your baby has a diaper rash, more than likely it is because of the things that are in the disposable diapers. And disposable diapers attribute to about 3.4 million tons of landfill waste, and they do not decompose. So that is extremely crazy. And also, the last thing I wanted to say is that disposable diapers make it a little bit more difficult for your children to start potty training because the wetness of the diaper is not uncomfortable for them because it has such a super absorbency. So they get used to just having, maybe 2 to 3 wet diapers and not feel uncomfortable. Meaning they'll urinate about 3 times in their diaper and won't be like, I need my diaper changed. As opposed to when you're using a cloth diaper. So some of the cons about using a cloth diaper is that you do have to change your diaper several times a day. Way more than you would with disposable diapers. Pretty much about every time your child pees or poops just one time, you want to change the diaper. And which is good because my son, every time he urinates once, he lets me know, my diaper is wet. So he has that acknowledgement that my diaper is wet and it's been wet one time, I need to be changed. Another thing about cloth diapers is that it saves you money in the long run. In the beginning, it's like a large lump sum that you have to pay to get about a few diaper covers and a few inserts. I have about 10 diaper covers and about 20 or so inserts. And I just reuse those over and over and over again, which means I wash every other day. So that might be a pro and that might be a con to some people. For me, I'm indifferent. I already have a 3-year-old, so I'm used to washing pretty often already. So with cloth diapering, I do have to wash every other day. And as you'll see later on in the video, I'll wash the diapers by hand, and then I'll either throw them in the dryer, or I'll wash them again in the washing machine, depending on how good the clean was, and that really depends on how big of the mess my son has made. Some other things about cloth diapering is that it is way better on the environment, and that's because you can continue to reuse them. You can reuse them for your next child after your first child has is done with them and gone on to potty training. And because the absorbency is not so super, when your baby does urinate, they get uncomfortable quicker, which means that when it comes to potty training, they'll be able to know how to move on to that next stage of their life, because they'll be wanting to take off their diaper more sooner than as opposed to a child who's wearing a disposable diaper. So knowing those things about the cloth diaper made me realize that this is an important step that I need to take. And so when I first had my daughter, who is now almost 4 in about a couple months, I looked into cloth diapering, and I made a decision that I was going to cloth diaper. And I did not know anyone else who was cloth diapering, so it was an all new experience. Of course, my grandmother, when I did first go visit her, and my daughter was about 3 months old, she was telling me how she used to cloth diaper, and she hadn't seen anybody cloth diapering since then. So she was pretty impressed with the fact that I chose that route. Now, some things that I do want to say about cloth diapering for anybody out there who's like, I don't have a washing machine and I don't have a dryer. I've been in all of the scenarios I could possibly be in with my daughter and my son as far as cloth diapering. I have visited family for like over a month's time with my daughter, who either didn't have a dryer or didn't have a washer or didn't have either or. So if you do have a washing machine and you don't have a dryer, what you can do is just wash your diapers and then hang dry them. I was in a scenario where I was at my cousin's house who didn't have either or, and what I would do is I would wash the diapers by hand and then dry them on her radiator. And if I wanted to, she had a laundromat across the street, I would wash the diapers in the washer at the laundromat and then go back to her apartment and put my baby's diapers on her radiator. So you can basically wash them by hand and then hang dry them, or you can wash them in the washing machine if you have one and then hang dry them, or if you have both, you wash them in the washing machine and you wash them and then dry them in the dryer. So basically all that to say is you can make it work. It is worth making it work. And although it might be a little more messy and a little bit more time consuming, it is better for your baby, and it's better on your pockets, and it's better for the environment. So those 3 important reasons is essential for why you should cloth diaper your baby. Another thing I wanted to touch on is that any struggles that I might have with cloth diapering. And I would say my 2 main struggles is that since my baby is still only 2 months old, he's still waking up in the middle of the night. So hand washing the diapers at night is like, I'm so tired. So that's one struggle. And then another might be is if we're out and he had a big old poopy mess, and I don't have any of the biodegradable disposable diapers, I will have the cloth diapers mostly. That's what we mostly travel with. If he does have a big poopy mess, then I have to fold that up, put it in the dirty diaper bag in his baby bag, and then worry about cleaning it later. And it might be very smelly later on and kind of gross, but overall it's still better to me than using a disposable diaper on my baby. So stay tuned as I go and show you what it's like to cloth diaper my baby. Okay, so what normally happens is we'll go and wash a rag, put a little bit of Shea Moisture's baby soap on it, and just clean up the area like you would normally do. Since it's a rag, you don't want to use the same spot twice. You want to make sure you get in all the crevices, make sure everything is clean. More than likely, you'll have to go and wash the rag again. And since my king is here, what we normally do is I'll pass it over which I am, and he'll go and wash it and bring it back so I can give him another good wipe again. And this, if you are breastfeeding, this is kind of what it's gonna look like. It's a little poopy and it's peed, it's soiled. Around the tips right here aren't wet. And so I kind of fold that up and keep it inside the cover. What I will do is also feel the cover to see if it's wet. If it's not wet, then I'll reuse it again and just put a new insert on top. But if it is feeling wet like this one is, I'll get a whole new one. So I just kind of rest that in there until it's time to go to the bathroom and clean it up. So now what I'm going to show you is the different types of cloth diapers that we have, which we have 3 different types. We have here Sadie's Babies, which I bought this at a convention. There's some black entrepreneurs, and she makes cloth diapers as well as postpartum and menstrual pads. And this one is an all-in-one cloth diaper, which means that the insert is already built inside. So how you would put this on is it's right there. You put his butt on top of the diaper, leaving this part at the back, and you'll bring this to the front and then pull this over and snap here, snap there, and bring the other side over and snap as well. Now, the great thing about this diaper and all the diapers that I do have is that they are a grow with you diaper, which means that all these snaps you see here, you can open them to make it bigger for bigger babies, or you can put it up to make it smaller for smaller babies like him. So that's the all-in-one. I also have one like this, which we'll pick him up for a little bit, which is not an all-in-one. And what I do with these, instead of sticking the insert on the inside of the diaper, is that I put it on top. So here is a new clean insert, and I place it on top. That way I'll be able to use the cover again. And I put his butt down on it, pull the insert over, and because he's a boy, I make sure his little pee-pee is down so he doesn't spray to the side. And I pull this over and do the same thing like I did with the all-in-one. And snap, snap, and snap on the other side as well. And voila! Next, we have a diaper that looks like this, which kind of straps on like traditional disposable diapers, but it also has the snaps like this in the front, and that should just make it smaller or bigger depending on the size of your baby. So you do the same thing by putting the insert on top, and then you put your baby's bottom right there, pull the insert over, then this part over, and then Velcro it. This one is pretty awesome because it's really quick to put on, and we'll keep him in this one actually. And that is how you put on the cloth diaper.
Peace, family. Supreme I. This is what I do when I wash the cloth diaper. With my water running, as you can see, it's a little bit of curry right there. Chickpeas and curry. And I just wash it, and this is perfectly okay because the consistency of the baby poop can manage to be in the drain. So what I do is just let the warm water run over it. I like to slant it because it'll just fall down up in there in both ways like that. And so I put it on the bottom of the sink and just do it like that. Because once you let the cloth diaper hit the bottom of the sink and the water's hitting the actual cloth diaper, the poop comes off really, really easy. I rarely have to super scrub. But when I do, it comes off fairly easy. And again, sometimes when you clean this like this, it might come right off, or it might stain a little bit. So right there, you see we have a little bit of stainage. So what I like to do next is use a little bit of the actual baby soap and put it inside the cloth diaper, and just kind of use some friction to scrub it together, just like that. Just a little bit, just to get the tinge of the poop out, just a little bit. And as you can see, it's coming out fairly easy. And I literally just scrubbed it together about 10 or 15 times, which should do you. Scrub it, put it back under the sink, wash it out so that there's no more soap. And it is virtually poop free. And I bring it out like that. And this is pretty much good to go. There's a slight stain from previous poop, but that can't come out. But if you wanted to, just to be sure, you could throw this back in the washing machine. But it's pretty good to go right now. I would actually just throw this in the dryer for it to dry with other ones throughout the day, and it'll be done in like 30 minutes, and it's very simple.
So we are at the park, and baby Neptune has pooped, and he has his cloth insert in. So we are going to change him. So when you're out, you want to take a few rags with you. I wet my rags before I leave, and also a little spray bottle that will have a little bit of the baby soap in it and water, so you can spray the rags to clean the butt. Alright, so we're going to lay baby Neptune down and get him a new cover. And this time we're going to put on his disposable insert, which we got off of gdiapers.com. And this is made out of all biodegradable materials, which means that it can be compost, or if you follow the instructions on the package, you could rip it and pour all the contents inside the toilet bowl and flush it. So we are going to put one of these on him, and I'll get the diaper ready first by placing this insert inside. Watch me here. The diaper. Baby Neptune's getting fussy because he's like, Mom, get this poop up off my butt. Alright, so now we're going to lay baby Neptune down. And we have the diaper changing thing and one of his blankets. Open it up.
We're on an Indian mound, by the way.
And whoa, we got a big poopy mess going on in here. So we're going to wipe him up just like we do when we're at home. And this is why you want to bring a good amount of rags with you, because you don't have the sink to just go and rinse the rags off. But we do have a bottle of water, so we can use that as well. And I have another rag. Just want to make sure we get a good little wipe on the first one. And then we're going to put all of the contents into the diaper. It's best if you just cover up the insert like that, so it doesn't make too much of a mess when you put it inside your plastic baggie that's in your baby bag. And fold everything up like that. Like this. And inside your baby bag, you have like one of these little plastic things, and you can put it inside there for when you get home. So now these diapers you will wash by hand when we get home, and definitely put them in the washing machine afterwards and then dry them. So now we're going to put on his new diaper. You see he stopped fussing. Doesn't like a dirty butt. And we pull this over just like we do the cloth. And then snap in the front. Snap right here. Okay, sorry, Neptune. And we're all finished.